What up, people? I'm coming to you from Twitch. Just a quick video, this one. I've been struggling with ILS, flying ILS, and I couldn't quite figure it out, and there was just one thing I was missing. And I thought I'd share this just because if someone else is in the same situation, then this should help them try and understand how to fly ILS. Let me just go into the normal gaming thing. So ILS is basically it guides a plane down into an airstrip if it qualifies as having an ILS radio frequency coming from the airstrip. If I bring up this thing and share my desktop, that's quite a good representation. That was on rfwireless-world.com. You'll see the top there. It's basically like a crosshair. You can have LOC, localizer, and you can have ILS. So the localizer is this bit, the pale green, and that basically guides you to the runway, but it doesn't take you down the glide slope, whereas the ILS also includes another radio frequency that's flipped over 90 degrees, and so you also get the glide slope and the horizontal guidance. So I'm going to do an example. We're going to do, if you go somewhere like Sky Vector, you'll see you get these charts and it gives you like the tower frequency, the ATIS frequencies and all that stuff. If you click onto it, it doesn't really give you much more than that, really. Some of these details on this page, on this site, it will give you the localizer. Sorry, the ILS or the localizer if it's a localizer. This one doesn't have it on here, but I'll show you how to do it with Microsoft Flight Sim. Let's get back into the game. Let me get a switch off first up. So let's do, where were we? Banff, wasn't it? Which is in, okay, Marble. It's over here somewhere, isn't it? Banff, UIBA. I can find it. There it is. So right. So we're going to take off from here, and we're going to go to Calgary. There's somebody over here at the moment, and we'll zoom for details. So what we'd normally do is go somewhere like windy.com. Yeah. Find it. And see this is Calgary. This is the meter for Calgary. So we see that it's coming, the winds are coming from the west. So with that information, we can go to here, and there isn't really a best runway. Like 26 would be good to land to the west. But as it's a westerly, it doesn't matter. So if we do 35 left as our arrival, and then we select our low altitude airway, we can select the ILS here. Forgotten what it was already. 35 left. So you could select 35 left if it's available. There's no localizer here, it's all ILS. And what this does, if I select that, that's not right. Where's my Banff? There we go. What this does is it remaps it, and what it's doing is it's trying to put you in line with that crosshair so that the localizer can guide you in. You can do it manually. You don't actually have to have any guidance at all, and as long as you've got the frequency, and that's the bit I was missing, as long as you've got the frequency for the ILS, then it will just find it and take you in. As soon as you get anywhere near, it'll pick it up, and then it'll take you to the right location to guide you in. So we'll do this flight, and we'll use the TBM for this. Let's make it earlier so we can actually see what we're doing. Live traffic, all players, that'll do, that's fine. And let's go. I forgot to change my tail. It's going to start doing air traffic control stuff, and I forgot to change my tail code slightly to something slightly less irritating. So yeah, it took me, I figured it out today. I'm by no means any kind of an expert, but I figured it out today. I sat down and worked it out, and I now understand how it works. And you can literally have no navigation on your screen, but as long as you've got the utility to watch for arrival. That seems really loud. Really loud. Okay. As long as you've got the frequency set, then it will guide you in. So, for example, God, that's really loud. We'll go to the flight plan. You see it's CYYC for Calgary. In this Garmin, this thing, it's got a database built into it. So if we go back to the MFD, CYYC, you go to a waypoint info, look at the airport, select CYYC, NYC, which is Calgary, enter that, and it gives you the coordinates for it, and you can have a look at the runways and all that kind of stuff. We're going to 35, isn't it? But if you look at the frequencies, you think, oh yeah, there's probably tower and stuff like that, but if you scroll down, there's your ILS frequencies. And we want 35 left, is it, or right? I can't remember. I think it's right. Or left. I can't remember now. And it might even be the same one, 11075. 11150. Okay, so we can set them both. So if I set this one, if I click on it, I can set my nav1 active. And then we'll set that as our secondary, but we won't actually use that. And then in the navcom, you'll see they're set here, nav1 and nav2. I'll set them both as primaries. I could switch them, but as it's one or the other, I can just select nav1 and nav2. So go back to our MFD. Let me just quickly set up the plane for taking off. I'm gonna go to I don't know what the plan is for this. We've got mountains all around us, oops, so we need to... Okay, we'll forget that, it'll tell us in this flight plan. 10,000 feet it says, okay. 10.2. Vertical speed. Let's take it up pretty quick. 2.5, let's get rid of that. Flight director on, we'll put nav on, so it's all primed, ready to go. We have to turn around behind ourselves, which is not great. Don't need any of that. So let's just change our heading bug so that we know which way we're going. Memory flight display. Where's the wind? We've got a crosswind, very light crosswind at the moment. Speed bugs. That's our max speed. That's pretty much the highest speed we can put our gear down, I think, or flaps down. And then we'll coast in about 85. There's them all on. And then we're pretty much good to go.
Charlie Yankee Bravo Alpha traffic Queen Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001 taking off runway 18 departing straight out.
What? Rudders, quick. Short runway this one. Oh, airspeed is alive, just. There was a bear there on the right. Okay. You're up. Hit the trees. There we go.
Edmonton Center, Queen Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001 is at 5,200 feet, climbing 11,000 feet. Queen Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001 Edmonton Center, continue to spray as planned.
Very good.
Queen Romeo Charlie.
So bring that down a bit because that's a wee bit too high on the climb. Our airspeed isn't good enough yet.
Climb and maintain 12,000.
So we need to
Charlie Bravo 000.
get the other side of this hill. As you see in the top left, that's our GPS. So we're flying on GPS at the moment. Oh, there we go. My speed's a wee bit too, throttles a bit much. There you go. Try and get our speed up a little bit. So if I switch on the take off nav for a second and put on autopilot, the damper. Just let that take us up, and then I'll activate the nav, and that'll bring us back on track around this mountain. So at the moment, if you look at our compass, bearing is off at the moment, so that's nav 1. That will just follow the GPS. Sorry, nav 1 is our ILS when it pops up. Nav 2 is our backup one if we want to see that. And GPS is our current GPS heading. Basically, it will always follow the purple. So we want nav 1. Let's see if we've passed this. Yes, we have. So I'll switch on navigation. Now I'll swing us off to the left. Oh. It would help if I'd brought my flaps up. There you go. Let's get this back under control. Did a fine job here, haven't we? There we go. Get our speed back up. Look at the trim. Trim's way off. Let's get a little bit of climb. So it's going to take us up to about 12,000. Autopilot back on. Run up to 12,000. Vertical select and up. Got some icing. -4, so we're icing on airframe. You'll see the little bladders inflating to keep the ice off the fuselage. Okay, and away we go. So this flight should be fairly quick. Oops, it's already set. I can pretty much leave it to do its own thing now. I don't have to fly it literally until it's a mile out. There's only one thing I need to do now. I'll adjust the height slightly when it calls for it, and then I'll switch on approach, and it will automatically just look for that ILS because it's programmed automatically into the comm. Into the frequency's already programmed, so it'll look for it, and you'll see it pop up here on the Not a gimbal, compass. We've got a bit of turbulence going on up here. It's a nice day to be flying. You see the ice on the tail of it. They were de-icing on it, so it shouldn't be too bad. I wonder how high these actually are, because it's UK, the highest hill, if you want to call it that, is 4,400 feet or something, 4,415, Ben Nevis. And I'm up at 12,000 feet, and these are not that much below me. So we'll follow this along. See our navigation is changing. Zoom that one in, and then we'll zoom this one out. So we're going. So we're going pretty quick up to Canop, C-A-N-O-P, and then it'll swing us right so that we can capture the ILS frequency. So once we're lined up a little bit, I'll zip us forward. Just wait for this to stabilize. Ooh, jumping about all over the place. 12,000 feet. Wait for it to level out. Once it levels out, I'll switch off autopilot and then push this forward to save a bit of the trip. I'm switching off autopilot because it has a hissy fit. Let me just do that. There we go. So that's brought us right forward a bit.
11,000 feet, William Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001.
I take it down. Let's bring our speed back to, that should be alright, 70 in a bit. It'll accelerate, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's pretty much lined up, I think, on the next thing. I know it's actually. He wants us to come right down. See, now it's trying to get us towards the right kind of position for it. Then one. And it's going to put us right on this line. Again, I'll fly forward a bit and then I'll do a fast descent. Not actually going down, is it? This is it now, coming into the approach. And if you see here, you can see there's the little green line. It's pointing right at the Calgary. It just happens to be that's the way that we're coming in.
Calgary approach, Wing Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001 is out of 9,700 feet for 7,100 feet.
This is kind of frozen. This is a bug with the simulator at the moment. But you see that the green, the arrow is still pointing at the airport, and it will constantly point at the runway. So at some point these will converge.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 35 left approach. Wing Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001.
Yeah, see, so I'm calling out that it's an ILS approach. It's a bit bugged out. As soon as it captures the ILS, it will start working again. So this one still works, fortunately. But these two main primary flight displays are kind of bugged as far as speeds go. See if he wants us to stay on the same height. So in theory, where are we now? See, this bit isn't working. There's a bug in this that can freeze the game. So I'm just being a bit careful with it. EABOL Gabol. So we want to be about 7,100, and then it should capture it at this point and automatically just do everything for us. And you'll see that because this goes from the purple to a solid to a green, and it comes up instead of FMS, which is the GPS coordinates. It'll come up LOC, lock, and that's it finding the localizer, which is the left and right to guide us in. But then you look, because it's an ILS, we also get the glide slope. So it was just lock, then it will still guide us in, but it's up to us to manage our descent down to the runway. So I've got approach ticked, nav has gone off, but it's still following the GPS. Let's give it a bit more throttle. A bit of speed into this. So this is still pointing at the runway, so it's over there to the left somewhere. That's correct to this. It's about 90 degrees, does it almost? Yep. If we were to look out the window, it should be over there somewhere. You can see it from outside. Yeah, okay. Temperature's still cold, but I'll bring that down so our speed's coming up a wee bit better. We're getting close now. Again, see, this is swinging around. It's constantly pointing to the runway. It knows where it is. And you see there the IYC. In theory, if we on the display showed nav2 on the other, where is it? Nav2, it does pick up the other one, and it's basically the same because it's the other way on the runway, pointing back to ourselves. We could have picked another runway as an example and it would have been a slightly different angle. So it's now behind us, the airport, slightly. And this is going to start making that turn in a second. Zoom in. Oh, of course it's not working right now. Right. It'll start to make a bank there. It's going to make a left turn in a second. It's doing a very slow left turn, and then it'll capture the... I'll stay in the cockpit so you can see it capture it. And as it becomes in line with the runway... Oh, I keep forgetting you can't see it. That's it there. That's the two runways there. Oh. And it's caught.
William Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001, you are 18 miles southwest of Calgary. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Calgary Tower on 118.7.
Okay, so he's whinging at me to get to the tower.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.7.
You see this jumped to do the last turn. And as we get close, you'll see these converge, and then it will suddenly jump as it catches the edge of the localizer and pulls us in.
ILS runway 35 left approach Wing Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001. Empress 1761 cleared to land runway 17 left. Follow the aircraft on final. Wind 2547.
I want to zoom in on this and I can't. It's really annoying.
Runway 17 left Empress 1761.
There. So they changed? Oh, this comes to life again. Once it's caught it. It's just, this is a bug in the game. It's annoying that you can't actually do that. I could have done a different plane, I guess, but now we were approaching the final approach on it. It's caught the edge of the localizer, which was that, the horizontal to guide us in, and now that's taking charge of the orientation to line us up directly onto. I'm not doing anything with the joystick or anything. I don't have to do anything with the altitude because you see it's descending on its own, and that little green diamond, whoops, that being centered, that's the glide slope, so that's the vertical, that's the ILS glide slope indicator. This is the horizontal and that's the vertical, and this is usually about a 3-degree approach, and literally it will just take us all the way in. All I've got to do is I've got to modulate the speed a little bit. I'll bring it back a little bit and drop a flap because we're getting close. Just bring our speed down a little bit, and then when we get about 4 miles out, then I'll put the second flap down in landing gear. See, it will always try and maintain this now. It's not just doing almost like a GPS navigation. It's where it's steering the plane in, it's also maintaining that 3-degree thing. They call it riding the needle or flying the needle because it's a tiny little channel, basically, that you're trying to fly down.
Land runway 35 left. Wind 2547.
That just froze in with there. Don't want that. It's because I think
Runway 35 left Wing Romeo
all the textures it's pulling in.
0001.
You were down to about 135 knots, so we'll bring that up a little bit. We're 4 miles out. Throttle up a little bit. Second flaps out. Although I've sped up because of all the extra wind drag, it's air resistance. It slowed us down a little bit. I'm going to try and keep it above 100 knots coming in. Again, I'm not flying this. This is the game doing it. That's Calgary over there. It needs updating, I think. That one. So you see, it's literally taking us right down the runway.
Empress 1761 exit runway with able.
So it automatically calculates the vertical speed, which is currently 550 minus 550 minus 600, and that goes off my flight speed. It knows how fast to drop to maintain that 3-degree angle. So we're about a mile out. My feet are on the rudders, and it literally will take you.
Turn next taxiway.
It literally will take you right down. I've switched off autopilot now. It will take you right down, but when you land, it still is trying to not stall, so it's lifting. So you see I'm actually a bit lower, or am I too high? That's what I mean, I'm still kind of new at it, but that's, now that I've figured it out, it's just it's just a lot easier. Let's throttle off. Oh, floating.
Empress 1761 exit, runway when able.
And down you go. Back. That's the worst landing I've done in a while. But yeah, there you go. And that's how ILS will just literally
Empress 1761 contact ground on 082.35.
guide you all the way down. I couldn't figure it out, and it's that one thing. You just put the frequencies in, you turn it onto the grass.
William Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001 contact ground on 082.1.9er.
And that's it, really.
121.9er, William Romeo Charlie Bravo 0001.
Still talking. But that's it. That's how you do that, an ILS approach. And it's just literally you put in that frequency into the nav, but you can't get it. It's hard to find online. You'd have to go to the. You can get these. I think they call them star maps or like approach maps for each airport, and they cost a lot of money because they're constantly being updated. For this, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if it's a bit out of date. So that's how you do it using the Garmin 3000, I think it is. I don't know if you can do it with other Garmins. But yeah, once you've got the frequency, then it's dead easy. And that's it. Until the next time, people, I'll be back.